Continuing, the distance to my birth home to the Yahweh statues is 4943 nautical miles. In Greek from 4862, and a compound of 4012 and 2983, to take by enclosing altogether, that is, earnestly throw the arms about one, embrace. Hebrew 4943, from an unused root meaning to hold, possession. Now the largest being, the Yahweh El Grande, is 21.6 meters and weighs 280 tons. 280 is gestation in days, and 216 is revelation, quoting, "And he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of life freely." 2160 is the moon width, but in feet it is 85.03 from 3615, meaning completion, by implication, and extremity, end, perfection. There are many wonders around the earth. The most remote at the end of a line is Easter Island. Modern archaeologists always assume the destruction of the priestly statues washed inland 200 meters or so was caused by a tsunami. In order for a tsunami to occur requires a continental shelf. What happens is a small wave 1 inch high travels across the ocean at 600 miles per hour. Then, as it encounters the shelf, the waters build up as the front slows, as the rear overtakes the wave, rises up as volume increases. On Easter Island, beneath it, 2 tectonic plates converge, pushing up a peak of volcanic material, cooled by the water, and a spike emerges from the water as the island. No continental shelf, therefore there was never and never will be a tsunami. The scattered, broken priestly statues of all different shapes and sizes represent the multitudes of various and diverse churches that were destroyed as the Lord Yahweh and Queen Asherah emerged from the volcano, taking everyone by surprise. The world has been devoured by the Lucifer, Satan, god of the Torah, and Bible translators translate and manipulated the books to support the Lucifer God hypothesis. The chosen people say they are Semite, but are Khazar Mongolian opportunists. They say the Shemite, the white people, are Goy. They reverse everything, and out of this insanity they invented Freemasonry from the war mentality of the Templars to keep the masses in a state of worry with one another after another, with one war after another, and the Zionist, another offspring, manufacture weapons to get Christians to kill Christians and make a depopulation advance while printing paper with no backing as money. In short, if any university stumbles on truth, they're out of money for all projects, including the lunatics who go to Easter Island and start assembling what should stay as found. Now moving right along back to the Great Pyramid at Egypt, the width of the pyramid is 9131.06 pyramid inches. In 60 seconds of the rotation of the Earth along the equator, the surface has moved half the distance around the Earth, or half of the circumference, 24,902 miles. explain that?
Yes, in 2 minutes.
In 2 minutes.
The equator moves the width of the pyramid. The rotation of the Earth in 2 minutes
Yes.
moves the width of the pyramid.
Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, now for a question. Who said this in 1922? Christian capitalism is already as good as destroyed. The international Jewish stock exchange, capital gains in proportion as the other loses ground. It is only the international stock exchange and loan capital, the so-called supra-state capital, which has profited from the collapse of our economic life. The capital which receives its character from the single supra-state nation, which is itself national to the core, which fancies itself to be above all other nations, which places itself above other nations, and which already rules over them. The international stock exchange capital would be unthinkable. It would never have come without its founders, the supranational, because intensely national Jews. The Jew has not grown poorer. He gradually gets bloated, and if you don't believe me, I would ask you to go to one of our health resorts. There you will find two sorts of visitors. The German who goes there, perhaps for the first time for a long while, to breathe a little fresh air and to recover his health, and the Jew who goes there to lose his fat. And if you go out to our mountains, whom do you find there in fine, brand new yellow boots with splendid rucksacks in which there is generally nothing that would really be of any use? And why are they there? They go up to the hotel, usually no further than the train can take them. Where the train stops, they stop too. And then they sit about somewhere within a mile from the hotel, like blowflies around a corpse. These are not, you may be sure, our working classes, neither those working with the mind nor with the body. With their worn clothes they leave the hotel on one side and they go on climbing. They would not feel comfortable coming into this perfumed atmosphere in suits which date from 1913 or 1914. No, assuredly the Jew has suffered no privations. And finally, we were also the first to point the people on any large scale to a danger which insinuated itself into our midst, a danger which millions failed to realize and which will nonetheless lead us all to ruin, the Jewish danger. And today, people are saying yet again that we were agitators. I would like here to appeal to a greater than I, Count Lerchenfeld. He said in the last session of the Landtag that his feeling as a man and a Christian prevented him from being an anti-Semite. I say my feeling as a Christian points me to my Lord and Saviour as a fighter. It points me to the man who once in loneliness, surrounded only by a few followers, recognized these Jews for what they were and summoned men to the fight against them, and who, God's truth, was greatest not as sufferer but as fighter. In boundless love as a Christian and as a man, I read through the passage which tells us how the Lord at last rose in his might and seized the scourge to drive out of the temple the brood of vipers and of adders. How terrific was his fight for the world against the Jewish poison. Today, after 2,000 years, with deepest emotion, I recognize more profoundly than ever before the fact that it was for this that he had to shed his blood upon the cross. As a Christian, I have no duty to allow myself to be cheated, but I have a duty to be a fighter for truth and justice. And as a man, I have the duty to see to it that human society does not suffer the same catastrophic collapse as did the civilization of the ancient world some 2,000 years ago, a civilization which was driven to its ruin through this same Jewish people. For as a Christian, I have also a duty to my own people. And when I look on my people, I see it work and work and toil and labour, and at the end of the week it has only for its wage wretchedness and misery. When I go out in the morning and see these men standing in their queues and look into their pinched faces, then I believe I would be no Christian but a very devil if I felt no pity for them. If I did not, as did our Lord 2,000 years ago, turn against those by whom today this poor people is plundered and exploited. The national government will regard as its first and foremost duty to revive in the nation the spirit of unity and cooperation. It will preserve and defend those basic principles on which our nation has been built. It regards Christianity as the foundation of our national morality and the family as the basis of national life. Now, the latest report suggests the rulers of the world have started going into their bunkers. As said, $60 trillion spent since the discovery of the small solar system returning to encounter ours has resulted in 6 or more astronomers killed in the last 2 months. The dwarf sun is not the problem. It is 3 of its planets and have passed Mars, headed towards the Earth. The debris trailing behind has started falling onto Mars. The planet's debris is said to be most dangerous from August 17th to mid-November. This appears to be verified by the movements of the elite into the DUMBs, the deep underground military bases. The planets can only be seen via thermogenic filters. This is why when we drove through the UK, then Holland, Belgium, Germany, Poland, back through Austria, Switzerland, and back to Italy, taking photographs of light sources, driving overnight into Poland, at certain times no shadows due to the light sources from different angles at the same time. As while in the UK the signs of the Earth axis shift was noted as the pole star had vanished and the constellations out by 50 degrees or so. We uploaded the axis tilt and immediately was taken off the net. It is always necessary when we upload to our followers who privately view the work, then simultaneously re-upload with a new title, and this way they remain for a longer period until tracked down and deleted. As predicted, the temperatures worldwide are off the scale, either hot or cold. The only normal temperatures are around Rome, all due to the Earth axis shifting 50 degrees off north to relocate to a point in the UK near Herne Bay, almost on the English Channel. I expect it will shift to Stonehenge, 212.7 kilometres west. The New South Pole is near New Zealand. When the new solar system stabilises, the Earth will benefit, as these planets are where our angels dwell and will become visible over time, and the evil ones fearing the Lord will have been destroyed by their own hand, rejecting salvation. Matthew 13:41 verses 41, 2 and 3. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels. They shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Then shall the righteous shine forth as the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. The evil ones are going underground. I have warned them. They will enter in and not come out. Every knee that is left alive shall bow. One could say these angels are also men on the earth, or angels who appear as men. If the nations of the good were given the task to eliminate the evil, 192 verses with the words angel. The last is, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. Revelation 22:16. There are 92 verses with angels, plural. And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Revelation 21:12. Now April the 6th, 1943 is the date I was conceived on. Jupiter was over Sydney for 882 minutes. Its rise 21:12 and set at 9:56. The following morning Venus 2:14 and set at 16:03. 589 minutes. Add the 2 for 1471. Leading to Luke verse 2:5, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. Child in the Greek dictionary 1471 from 1722 and the base of 2949. Swelling inside, that is pregnant, great with child. The English gematria is 580, and Greek 580 from 577 is rejection. So what does this tell us? There was no sexual intercourse between Mary and her espoused husband-to-be. Intercourse means they would be married, not espoused. Birth was the breaking of her hymen. This brings us full circle to the meaning of the base of the pyramid. Laid out on solid rock, the builders had no concerns for tremors. Solid rock, but under each corner were sockets with large blocks of stone set level with the footings level. Then fine chiselled lines laid out a square of 36524.24 pyramid inches, reducing the base layout by 286.1 pyramid inches. A pyramid inch is 1.00106 British, or 25.426924 millimetres. We have a formula, and the answer tells us what it is all about. 36524.24 less 286.1 is 36238.14. 2861 is a spousal in Hebrew from 2859, a wedding, espousal. 3652 is espousal, 3623 from 3618, bridehood, only in the plural, espousal. Search the Bible and know espousal. The Bible's translators left the S off, so we search espousals. Solomon 3:11. Go forth, O ye daughters of Zion, and behold King Solomon with the crown wherewith his mother crowned him in the day of his espousals, and in the day of the gladness of his heart. As son-in-law material, he a man fathered by a man who killed his mother's husband. She an adulteress, and he as king had his mother trick David as he, David, lay dying, kept warm by a young concubine. In the darkened room, she, the concubine, heard Bathsheba lie to David, and had him change his inheritance from the rightful heir Adoniah. His name means worshipper of Yah. Quoting, and King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, And why dost thou ask Abishag, the Shunammite, for Adoniah? Ask for the kingdom also, for he is mine older brother, even for him and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. 1 Kings 2:22, quoting, Now therefore, as he the Lord liveth, which hath established me and set me on the throne of David my father, and who hath made me an house, as he promised, Adoniah shall be put to death this day. And King Solomon sent by the hand of Benaiah the son of Jehoiada, and fell upon him that he died. So they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coasts of Israel, and found Abishag, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair, and cherished the king, and ministered to him. But the king knew her not, that is, no intercourse. Now the conspiracy, quoting, and now behold, Adonijah reigneth, and now, my lord the king, thou knowest it not. As David was old and dying, the young woman Abishag lay with him to preserve his body heat. And so she overheard Bathsheba. Then after Solomon had been named as king, his brother Adonijah approached Bathsheba. 1 Kings 2:12. Then sat Solomon upon the throne of David his father, and his kingdom was established greatly. And Adonijah the son of Haggith came to Bathsheba, the mother of Solomon. And she said, Comest thou peaceably? And he said, Peaceably. He said, Moreover, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And she said, Say on. And he said, Thou knowest that the kingdom was mine, and that all Israel set their faces on me, that I should reign. Howbeit the kingdom is turned about, and is become my brother's, for it was from the Lord. And now I ask one petition of thee, deny me not. And she said unto him, Say on. And he said, Speak, I pray thee, unto Solomon the king, for he will not say thee nay, that he give me Abishag the Shunammite to wife. And Bathsheba said, Well, I will speak for thee unto the king. Bathsheba therefore went unto King Solomon to speak unto him for Adonijah. And the king rose up to meet her, and bowed himself unto her, and sat down on his throne, and caused a seat to be set for the king's mother, and she sat on his right hand. Then she said, I desire one small petition of thee, I pray thee, say me not nay. And the king said unto her, Ask on, my mother, for I will not say thee nay. And she said, Let Abishag the Shunammite be given to Adonijah thy brother to wife. And King Solomon answered and said unto his mother, And why dost thou ask Abishag the Shunammite for Adonijah? Ask for him the kingdom also, for he is mine older brother, even for him, and for Abiathar the priest, and for Joab the son of Zeruiah. Then King Solomon sware by the Lord, saying, God, do so to me, and more also, if Adonijah hath not spoken this word against his own life. Now therefore, as the Lord liveth, which hath established me, and set me on the throne of David my father, and who hath made me an house as he promised, Adonijah shall be put to death this day. And so by treachery and murder Solomon became the unjust king of Israel. Solomon 3:11, quoting, So we have the base of the pyramid reduced to espousals. Go forth, O ye daughters of Zion, and behold King Solomon, with the crown wherewith his mother crowned him the day of his espousals, and in the day of the gladness of his heart, has a gematria of 1669. Then from Jeremiah 2:2, reading, Go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousals, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Has an English gematria of 2040. Espousals, Hebrew Dictionary 3623, from 3618, bridehood, only in the plural, espousal. So we have Solomon 3:11 and Jeremiah 22. Added, we have 3:3:3. Then we have 20:40, to pull down or in pieces, break, destroy, beat down, break down, through, destroy, overthrow, pluck down, pull down, ruin, throw down utterly. Add 1669 for 3702, corresponding to 3701, money, silver. Solomon received 666 talents of gold per year from his Moabite and Ammonite wives, the daughters of incest with their father Lot, becoming nations out of Sodom, and these were the wives he was espoused to. Reading 1 Kings 10:14, Now the weight of gold that came to Solomon in 1 year was 666 talents of gold. Solomon is 666. Francis is also 666. Vicar of Christ in Latin is a total of 666. The outer layer of 144,000 pure alabaster limestone, averaging 7 tons each, is 7 lifetimes reincarnated. Now, they were stolen by the Jews and sold in Cairo as building materials in the 8th century. This shrinkage was to have been covered with the wedding garment, the 286.1, bringing the base back out to 36524.24, which equals these last 100 solar years. Now the 814 is a gift or a present, gratuity. It's also from, in Greek, 813, irregularly, morally, disorderly. The wedding garment would have brought the 144,000 pure virgins out, the missing 286.1. Revelation 14:3, quoting, "And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song, but the 144,000 which were redeemed from the earth." Verse 4, "These are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of God. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." We have 286.1, that is the missing wedding garment. This number as a garment is 35.7625 pyramid inches thick over each block of alabaster pure white limestone. We get that number by dividing the 286.1 by 8. Then, that number, which is 35.7625, divided by 144,000 equals 0.000248350694444. So 2483 from 2482, italic, that is, belonging to Italia. Italian, that is the Catholic Church. The 5069 of a presumed derivative of tetras, a tetrad, from 5064. A quaternion or squad picket of 4 Roman soldiers. Quaternion. Or quaternion, I suppose it would be pronounced quaternion. The 444 Celsius is the burn temperature of the alabaster limestone. Therefore, the reason I was reborn into the original Catholic Church, I am the Messiah and King of it. Matthew 22:11, reading, "And when the king came in to see the guests, He saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he saith unto him, Friend, how camest thou in hither, not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. This one is Francis. Then said the king to the servants, Bind him hand and foot, and take him away, and cast him into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. For many are called, but few are chosen. The 144,000 must come out of the 1.2 billion Catholic Church. Pope Benedict XVI is reinstated as Pope Petros Romanos Peter II, and Vatican III becomes the basis of doctrine and protocol of the new Church. Revelation 16:15, Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. Garments, Greek Dictionary 2440. To put on a dress, inner or outer, apparel, cloak, clothes, garment, raiment, robe, vesture. The number 1615 from the verse, Revelation 16:15, from 1537 and 5055, to complete, fully, finish. Hebrews 16:15 from 3564 is lime. From being burned in a kiln, chalk, stone. 1.2 billion divided by 144,000 equals 8333.333 repeater. 833 in Hebrew is Asher, happy, lead, guide, upright, be honest, bless, blessed. 8333 in Hebrew is chain, garland, and 833 in Greek is mansion, court, sheepfold, hall, palace. So the angels built all of these ancient monuments, leaving puzzles, like why the largest statue beside a small one that was defaced by Cook, raising a red flag, why all other statues do not have a vast quantity of rock in the way, yet the largest does. At 21.6 metres, 70.86 feet, from 7167 as cut out hollow. That is 70 feet and 10 inches. 7010 from 6966, corresponding to 6965, a point, establish, make, raise up, self, rise up, make, to stand, set up. At 21.6 metres, 85.0 that should be you've got 85.03 inches. Should that be 850.3 inches? Okay, decimal places in the wrong. I'm almost finished, so I'll just continue with this until... Okay, so 8503 from 3615, completion by implication and extremity. End. Perfection. Okay, 3615 to end. Accomplish, cease, consume away, determine, destroy. Cease, be finished, perish. Easter Island is the last and most remote, miraculous monuments on earth. The count of statues at 887 is one short of Jesus. And when we add the second largest beside El Gigante, Asherah, this partially destroyed statue adds one more statue to total 888. 8. Jesus in Greek gematria. I'll have to go back and change. You've got El Grande. It's Gigante, isn't it? Okay, I thought there was something wrong when I read it. I'll go back and change it. Okay, we're almost finished, guys. So when the Dutch arrived on April 5th, 1722, now this is amazing because Yao woke up this morning and he came straight to this and he had to add more. This letter has been expanding daily, hasn't it? So after waking up this morning, he comes straight to the computer because more information came forth. So when the Dutch arrived on April 5th, 1722, the constellation Capricorn was directly overhead. Now Capricorn represents January, and 280 days gestation after a conception in April, a baby would be born on January 11th in Capricorn. The star in Capricorn is YBS 7989, Hebrew 7989 from 7980, potent. Concretely, a prince or warrior, governor, mighty, that hath power, ruler. Now the duration of the star overhead on that date was 831 minutes.
Also the same shape as the
Yes. So Capricorn is the same shape as the island. So the duration was 831 minutes in Greek from 846. An obsolete hentes, a worker to act of oneself, that is figuratively dominate, usurp authority over. 831 in Hebrew from 8254 in the sense of weighing down. Ashkelon, a place in Palestine. Weighing, not weighing down, sorry, a weighing place. Weighing. Pardon? Judgment. Yes, scales of justice. Weighing. Okay. All right. Now, there's the star YBS 7989. The point of Capricorn is Alpha and Omega. April the 5th, 1722. That is, I am Alpha and Omega. 848 duration. And that means her own of him. So her of him. His own. Of it, their own, themselves. They. Oh, okay. Of 846. Him, her, it, them, also in conjunction with the personal pronoun of the other persons. My, thy, our, your, self, selves, etc. Alone, her own self, he, himself, his own self, itself, one to another, our, thine own selves. That she had their own selves of themselves. They, thyself, you, your own conceits, own selves. In other words, us. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh, it just goes on. Look at this. Venus overhead, 704 minutes. Rising 727, setting 1911. 704, a lamb as a male. Hello! The Star of Bethlehem was a conjunction between Jupiter and Venus on June the 17th, 2 BC. 629241 days later, 1722.803 years. Hello! We're talking about Easter Island here, when it's discovery. And you've got foundation. Jupiter 806 minutes, add Venus equals 1510. The first person. Singular verb, I exist. We look at Omega in Capricorn for June the 17th, 2 BC. We find that Omega is 887 minutes on that date, 1722, prior to April the 5th, 1722, the resurrection date in 33 AD. In other words, the birth of myself as the baby Jesus on June the 17th, 2 BC, the Omega star was overhead in Capricorn, it over Easter Island for a duration of 887 minutes. On Easter Sunday, April the 5th, 1722, predicting the 887 statues discovered in 1722. Revelation 1:8. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, saith the Lord, which is, and which was, and which is to come, the Almighty. And having been accomplished, because He is again. He's not to come, he is. He's here. Revelation 1:11, saying, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. What thou seest, write in a book, and send it unto the 7 churches. Then Revelation 21:6, and he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the water of the life freely. The largest statue, 21.6 meters, El Gigante, Yahweh, next to Amma, Asherah, she being less than half his size and weight. Revelation 22:13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. Alpha Capricorn was overhead for 802 minutes. Add 887 equals 1689. Greek 1689 from 1722 and 991. To look on, to discern clearly, behold, gaze up, look up. Now my Immaculate Conception on April the 6th, 1943, over Easter Island. Alpha 775 minutes, rising at those times and then setting. Omega 843 minutes, add the two together. 1618 is the Fibonacci number. My rebirth, January the 11th, 1944, over Easter Island. Alpha 775, Omega 843, and you have the same 1618, the Fibonacci number. Then Matthew, chapter 16, verse 18, quoting, and I say unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. And so, my little brother, Benedict XVI, you will be Pope over my new Church of Rome, Petros Romanos, Peter II. And it is marvellous in our sight.